The Florida Podcast Network, the voice of Florida.
From Mallory Square in Key West to the Governor's Mansion in Tallahassee and all points beyond, you're listening to the Florida Beer Podcast, powered by FloridaBeerBlog.com, your source for all things related to the craft beer community in the Sunshine State. And now your host, Dave Butler.
We are back with episode 199 of the Florida Beer Podcast, powered by FloridaBeerBlog.com. This is Dave, your host and author. We are inching closer towards episode 200, but this is part 2 of our episode with Leaven Brewing. So if you haven't listened to part 1, let's see, this is episode 199, so that would have been episode 198. Make sure to go back and listen to the beginnings as we talk to co-owner, co-founder, co-everything Jillian Lynch, who along with her husband KJ created Leaven Brewing. We're going to be talking about some of the other aspects of Leaven Brewing today, two things that I think are absolutely incredible, namely Jillian's amazing use of social media and a mug club that needs to be heard about to be believed. And I have run into them out in the field away from Tampa before, and they are some amazing people. So let's get right into it with part 2 of Jillian Lynch at Leaven Brewing. Enjoy. What's interesting is that as we take a look at the tap room, there's a lot of, you think of the traditional craft beer dude bros that come in, and they're not here. This looks more like the community shows up. Is that really what you're looking for? And is that what you were hoping to find to begin with?
When I moved on from understanding that people weren't just going to drink beer in a parking lot here, I called this Riverview's living room. And so I wanted this to be a space where people acted as if they would at home. Now, I don't want you here in your boxers watching Netflix, but we've just created a space where I want people to gather, treat it like your home. And so we've had everything from Bible studies to flat earthers meetings. We have baby showers. We have the opposite of baby showers. You know, we've just created a place that I want you to treat like your home.
And it seems like the people of Riverview have definitely taken that, I would assume.
Yeah, we are blessed and highly favored in that way. People have just shown up. We feel very supported. We feel very loved. And I mean, it's been 8 years of pouring ourselves into the Riverview community.
And one of the things that's interesting about that, since it's been 8 years, is one of the aspects of Leaven that I know is kind of your baby that I absolutely adore is the fact that your social media to this day has a running count of the number of days that you have been in existence as an entity. Where did that even come from? Because that is a next level use of media that I've never seen before.
That started in the very beginning when we had just taken down that median wall that we have. And I was trying to just keep track of all the work we were doing. And the easiest way was through Instagram, and I was treating it like a diary. And so I think we put, the broom aside, and I was like, well, that's the end of day 1. And so you can see on Instagram, when you scroll way back, it says end of day 1. And then naturally the next day was just day 2. And then we were here every day. So it was just day 3 and 4 and 75 and 1007, and just the count goes on.
Do you know what day you're on right now? I think that's what you're checking right now.
I'm literally going to check. I used to know it off the top of my head, 2,991, but I always find that someone will correct me. So I have to go back and fact check now.
And so it seems like that running count has impressed more than just me, as a lot of people have been interested in that.
I appreciate that you say that. I never really thought it was much of a thing, but people tend to bring it up to me pretty often. I've asked if people could borrow it as well, and I'm like, counting doesn't belong to me, so you do what you want to do with it. But now looking back 8 years later, it really is kind of fun to see the chronology of like what life was, and to think that we've been here for over 2,000 days. It's wild.
So it really didn't start with the opening. It started when you just started to count during the build out phase.
That's correct. And I think that was something that I didn't understand. Everyone's like, oh, your Instagram, it's so great. You're a marketing genius. And I'm like, oh, thank you. That's so very kind. But I'm just right. Like, I don't have a marketing degree, and I don't think I understood the impact I was making so early. And so it was building the interest every day. It was giving people an inside look at things that aren't normally advertised. And I didn't understand how cool that was at the time. But now, even for myself, looking back, thank goodness I did it, because, you don't want to forget those days. You don't want to forget where you came from, what you started. And so, marketing or not, I appreciate that my former self did that.
And how difficult is it to keep that up? Because even myself, with this, there are days where I don't post, and I know that I should, but I don't. So how difficult is it to got to push something out, got to keep the count going, got to do something?
Just like I am not in marketing, I am not a slave to Instagram in any way. Like, my buddy James has tried to tell me the best hours to post, and the algorithm needs this and that. And I will say, to a fault, I did not listen to his advice. And so, it's really hard for me to start something so organic and then try to fake it, right? So on day 2,991 today, I have something to talk about because you're here. And then tomorrow, maybe there's nothing to have say. And so I'm not going to force something to be said. And so, I will say there have been times where there's a lapse in my Instagram, and it just is what it is.
That's amazing. I completely understand that, unfortunately. The other thing that's very interesting is when it comes to that organic creation is your mug club. And your mug club is very different than, because every other mug club that we've seen is you get the membership, you get larger pours that are $1 off, and you get a growler fill. But yours is radically different. I mean, obviously, I would assume that you have those as well, but your mug club is less like that and more like a vacation membership in a lot of ways.
Yeah, well, I think it kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning. It's always been about the people for us. And so in the beginning, we had 100 mug club memberships, and it was a way for me to force people to be my friend. I knew nobody here in Riverview, and I thought, if I make beer, they will want to be friends with me. And so, we knew we wanted some kind of membership program, and I don't think it was fully realized at that point. But it was also, an influx of cash in the beginning. And so with their dues, even to this day, I tell them essentially what they bought. So that first year, who knows, there were so many things on our receipt list that, needed funding. Last year, or gosh, years ago now, we reinstalled a glycol system just from the mug club.
That's amazing. But you're also doing other things. Like actually remember running into the Leaven Brewing Mug Club at Epcot.
That's
at
right.
Canada, when they took the Circle Vision 360 film and turned it into an Apple thing. And so there were people with the t-shirts with the logo buying Apple beers. Like, and I know that. So the food and wine event that is at Epcot is a yearly event that you will literally bust the Mug Club members over and enjoy for the day.
Yeah. So we, in the beginning, it was like we have 5 private events, and I found that I couldn't shut down the business for the Mug Club only and like make the same amount of money. We have gone to Epcot and we've drank around the world. That's been a lot of fun, but we've also put our Mug Club on a ship. We've also put our mug club on a plane. And so recently we were in the Dominican Republic, and one of my mug club members comes swimming over to me with cocktail in hand and said something along the lines of, "Do you know how smart the mug club is?" I just looked at him puzzled. He goes, 150. It's said to be the perfect tribe number. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, but love you. And then in Googling later, I found something called Dunbar's number. And so it says that you can only ever really have 150 friends. And that is like going into the idea of time. You only ever have time enough to build relationships with that many people. And then cognitively, you can't really recall names and facts about people over 150. And so I found this to be really interesting because unintentionally, just like my marketing, which was unintentionally, I've built this group of people. Technically, we're 145. And in my head, I'm like, if I have over that many people, there is no way in hell that I'm renting a bus and going to Epcot. You know, generally like 40 people are going to go. But imagine my mug club was 300 people. 80 people are going to want to go. And you cannot do anything with a group of 80 people. And so for me, it was never about quantity of people in the mug club. It was more about quality time. So at 150, I know you. I know, what's going on in your life. I know your name when you walk through the door. I can comfortably invite you on trips. I know your character. I can introduce you for a job. I know you at 150 people. And so it's just really funny that Justin pointed that out to me, swimming in a pool in the DR with the mug club.
Well, it almost makes it sound like there's a waiting list to get into the mug club, and it's a little bit
There's
more
a
of an
waiting list.
There is a waiting list.
Oh no, it's this is the worst time of year because when I'm here, everybody comes up to me asking, how do I get in? And I can't play favorites at this point. My interest list is what I call it. It's over 100 people and there's only 150 spots. And my mug club now has all month to renew. So I don't know. Do I end up with 12 available spots? 20? It's never more than 20, really. And so I send out these emails to the interest list, and I want them to be in the mug club. But at the same time, I can only give so much of myself. And so I want to give quality time to the 145 that I have.
You sure you didn't create a cult?
People say that all the time. I think if I was going to be a cult leader, I'd be good at it. But it's not that. Unless, like we said, unintentional, right? Unintentional marketing, unintentional cult. Wait, that's a great beer name.
Unintentional cult.
It's mine. Don't make the beer before I make it.
You got to make it like fruit punch or something Kool-Aid.
Oh, Kool-Aid. Geesh. Yeah, no, the joke is made all the time.
Dark, yeah.
The joke's made all the time.
But it's amazing. Like, did you ever? This is not what mug clubs usually are. Mug club is usually, hey, I'm paying for a special discount, and yet you've got a murder mystery dinner, on the chalkboard behind you that was 2 days ago.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Well, it's like I've always said, this isn't Panera Bread. Not everyone gets a 20% off card, and it's really just been that focus around people and having this group that I have. The way that I just did my spreadsheet, I can see at which year people joined the mug club, and so I have over, I think it's 35 or 36 people joined in year one out of 100. So in year one, there were 100 mug club members and 36 of them are still here with us. And I just think that's incredible. I've had 36 people, 8 times in a row have said, I believe in you. I support you. Take my money and do what you're going to do with it to grow Leaven. And I'm so grateful.
After a certain point, how do they not become just family members?
Oh, they are. They are. I think that's also where we've gotten a lot of like cross eyes at us from other businesses is like, they don't necessarily want their regulars that close to them, but I can't imagine it being any other way. The only reason I am successful is because I have the backbone of the mug club. They are the most stable thing probably in my whole life, right? Like there's not a single thing that I could need or want that someone in the Mug Club isn't going to have access to. And so, for me, that's so important. It's important that when someone randomly lost their mom a couple of years ago, that person did not know a single thing to do. And what happened? The Mug Club gathered together. We found some money. Someone took charge, and we're there. And so it's just becomes so much greater than a membership program.
It sounds a lot like the social clubs that popped up in Ybor City 100 years ago for immigrants and people coming in. This is not a mug club by any stretch of the imagination.
I know. We say it's about beer. And like I mentioned earlier, it's like beer comes second. We all appreciate beer. We have a mug club thing coming up where shout out to the brew bus for constantly letting me rent it. But we're going to go around to Common Dialect, Sky Puppy, and Florida Ave. And we're just going to drink beer. We're going to talk about beer that day. And, the root of it all is craft beer. That's kind of why we're here. But it's just grown into something so much more important.
That's kind of amazing. And what's interesting, especially for other breweries that I've spoken to, is the craft beer is good, but obviously you also have food. And so many breweries have mentioned the need to bring in a kitchen to sort of keep things going. Yes, the Mug Club is great. And yes, the beers are good, but that additional stream is sort of incredibly important. And in fact, I'm looking at the tables and there's a lot of food. And I just had a truly amazing Cuban sandwich. I'm trying not to order another one because it really is that good. How early in the Leaven story did you realize we should probably do something more than just the beer? Because especially with Fort Myers Brewing, they don't have a kitchen on site. They still don't have a kitchen on site, but you have one here.
So breweries and food trucks have always been the thing. And we were really lucky in the beginning that it made sense enough. Another thing my landlord pushed back on so hard. In the beginning, we would allow food trucks to roll up to the back. And it was like they were just an extension of us, right? Like we opened the back door, but it was practically their ordering window. And so that worked great until COVID. And during COVID, there were all those rules about needing to sell food in order to sell alcohol. And so the other theme of Leaven is like forced growth. And so we knew at year 5, we'd probably test out food or like dip our toes. And it was no, dive in head first because you need to sell food in order to sell your beer. So we rented a food truck. It was awful. I got fired the first day from KJ, who said, "Get." We made tacos because in another life, my husband had managed a Mexican restaurant. So food was fine and good, but oh my word, it was taking on a concept that we were ill prepared for. Now, fast forward, once you've introduced food to a community that's used to getting food here, you don't go back to food trucks. You are forced to build your own kitchen. And so in my space, that is weird. And architecturally doesn't make sense. We've now added a rectangle that juts out. It's strange. It's the tiniest kitchen you've ever seen. It's like a train car. That's the kitchen behind there.
It's not a whole lot of space.
Oh, no. I mean, it goes back, but still, I'll show you when we're done. Luckily for us, we make sandwiches. I think some of them are pretty damn good. Lucky for us, we've got a great team back there. And so it feels like with the food, it is a part of who we are now. But in the beginning, I did not want it to be.
But now, is it safe to say that you now have people that will come in here just for the food and won't even touch the beer?
Yes. So we are trying to grow our lunch crowd. So if you are hearing this today, please come see us for lunch.
Get the Cuban sandwich because it is absolutely fantastic.
But we are finding a lot of businesses will call in an order and come pick up. Or someone will come in scrubs because we have a hospital right around the corner. And so, they're not drinking beer on the clock. Yeah, exactly. And so they're getting lunch and they're leaving. And it's been a good part of business for us. I think 30% of sales is food overall.
That's amazing. And I will say the only other menu item that I'm desperate to try, and I know that it's clearly a reference to a certain other restaurant, is the 2018 salad.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is hysterical. But talk about how quintessentially Tampa you can actually be. So,
Yeah, you always have to do a nod to your roots,
of course. So what does the future look like for Leaven? Because obviously you are distributing. In fact, I know later on today you're going to Oakenstone for a tap takeover, and I was able to try the red on, and you can see it on the Florida Beer blog again from Oakenstone over in Naples. Are you content with what you have and just sort of growing the culture and the community here? Or are you looking for the traditional, let's spread the word of Leaven far and wide as much as we possibly can?
I don't know when this episode is airing, but I can tell you this is the worst kept secret that we're opening a second location in Plant City.
Really?
Yep, surprise.
Where in Plant City?
It's going to be 202 East Reynolds Street. So it's right next to, like, I can see the train museum in front of me. And we got that opportunity and scooped it up. I've had a crush on Plant City forever. We just love it. We've always thought if we had to move production, that perhaps land would be cheap enough there to move production that way.
That makes a lot of sense, because obviously I would assume that you would want to go closer to Tampa, but it looks like you're moving a little bit farther away, but I understand when it comes to that.
Right. And so the opportunity we were granted, it's right in downtown. So of course we're going to have a tiny tap room. We're going to have a deli next to us. So we won't be doing our own food there. We're going to be focused on the beer. But, you know, talking about my awkward space, we're in this conversation right now of, do we move the whole brew system? Are we upgrading to a 10 barrel from the 5? You know,
and that's a good question, because especially when you have the satellite locations, which seems to be the method of growth, which seems to be the more preferred method of growth over distribution. You know, people, let's just open up multiple tap rooms. The question, especially with the distribution laws that we have here in the state of Florida, is will that location brew beer, or will you be brewing everything here, shipping it over there, or will you be brewing everything over there and shipping it here?
Legally, we will be brewing in both places. Right now, we are in 282 unique locations. So bars, restaurants have our beer, and we are not at capacity yet at what we can do here, but like, I think we're about to be within the next year. And so I think what Plant City looks like is moving big production over there, and then maybe doing something fun over here, a smaller system, maybe doing cider. I don't know. I'm not going to cap what potentially could happen.
Usually what I've seen is the new space is the big space, it's the production space, and this becomes the laboratory. You know,
yeah.
I know Funky Buddha did the same thing between Boca and Oakland Park many, many years ago. So that's exciting. Do you think that you are looking to cultivate a different clientele in Plant City, and your Riverview crowd stays here? And what would that mean for the Mug Club? And, you know, would you have a separate Mug Club over there that's being headed by somebody else?
So you were catching me. I did not know I was going to talk about this, but you know, what I think we've decided is that Mug Club here is going to stop at 150. So I'm essentially going to add 5 spots here this year. And then Mug Club over there is going to start at number 151. And so we will be one.
It's a lot like Pokemon.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know. I missed that part of childhood.
It's the original 150 Pokemon. And then
see?
Yeah,
look,
exactly.
It's Dunbar's number coming up over and over. 150 is the perfect number. So yeah, we'll do in my head, like, let them have their own community, because I think that's what's special about it, right? Is that those 150 people will get to know each other for who they are. But then we'll do things like family picnics where we'll meet in the middle and, you know, have beer games and food in some flowery field between here and Plant City.
That sounds amazing. I will leave you with this question. When you were sitting in a parking lot at an industrial park, Fort Myers, drinking beer, did you have any idea you would be operating a chain of breweries to be what it is today?
100%. I absolutely knew it. I'm just kidding. No idea. I had no idea what my life was going to be. And more recently, I'm just waking up every day with an attitude of gratitude. I am getting emotional now. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be so well supported. I am so grateful that I have my little family. So I have a 4-year-old named Winter, and the fact that I get to spend so much time with her, it is so important. I'm grateful I have friends. I'm grateful I woke up. I'm grateful I get to live life this way. I get to do fun things. And I think if you gave me 10 years ago a glimpse into life, I'd be very confused. But I'd go, oh, hell, that looks cool.
It has been a very long time trying to get you on the podcast. I'm happy that it finally happened. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you for having me.
In addition to micro brewing, our interests have also been sparked by micropigmentation of the scalp. What exactly is scalp micropigmentation, you ask? That's a great question. Scalp micropigmentation, also known as SMP, is a non-surgical hair loss solution that uses specialized pigment and equipment to replicate the appearance of tiny hair follicles on the scalp. SMP creates the illusion of a fuller head of hair or a clean buzz cut look, creating a more youthful appearance and restoring your confidence. At New Beginning Micro, Steve Rivera and his SMP artists specialize in custom treatments tailored to your specific hair goals and needs. And not only are the results fantastic, but the process is very safe too. New Beginning Micro will give you your custom treatment in a sterile, professional setting using top-tier pigments and disposable tools. Safety and hygiene are their top priorities. When choosing the right SMP artist, you want to turn to a certified and experienced professional with a strong portfolio of before and after photos and a clean, licensed studio. And the New Beginning Micro team, one of the top-rated SMP studios in the Tampa Bay area, is proud to share their multitude of top reviews and real client testimonials. If you're interested, visit New Beginning Micro at newbeginningsmp.com today. And be sure to use promo code FLBeer1000, that's FLBeer1000, for a huge discount and to let them know that the Florida Beer Podcast sent you. So that is it with our time at Leaven Brewing in Riverview. Definitely want to thank Jillian for all of their hospitality and amazingness that they were able to show us. And make sure to check out the Florida Beer blog at floridabeerblog.com. We've got some reviews of their beers and some more coming up very, very shortly. If you are in the Tampa area and after heading to Leaven Brewing, you want to take a look at your scalp and see what kind of hair restoration options you can, make sure to check out our friends at New Beginning Micro. And if you do go, please use our code FLBeer1000. If you are interested in getting your own podcast off the ground because you just love what we're doing here on the Florida Beer Podcast and want to do the same thing for yourself, the best place to go is Flintstone Media. Jemmy and her team will do everything they need to get you sounding absolutely fantastic. You can find more about them at flintstonemedia.com. If you want to follow Florida Beer Podcast on all the socials, we are Florida Beer Blog on Instagram, Threads, YouTube, TikTok. Heck, we're even still on Facebook. If you want to email us, we are at floridabeerblog@gmail.com, and our website is floridabeerblog.com or floridabeerpodcast.com. If you're listening to us there, thank you so much. If you're listening to us on a different podcasting app, make sure to follow us, like, and subscribe. And if you can, leave a great 5-star review, because that'll help us get the word out about everything else that we are doing here at the Florida Beer Podcast. Intro announcer is Jeff Brozovich. Field producer is Steve Pekala. Executive producer for Flintstone Media and Grand High Poobah is Jemmy Legagneur. This is David Butler, your host and author. We will be back with episode 200 very shortly. Thank you so much for listening, and drink Florida Craft.